Tongues and Tails here in Blackpool for day 3 of the World Matchplay, and time for our first betting update at the tournament with Charlie McCan. How are you, sir?
I'm in good form, yeah, really good form. It's been a really good tournament so far. You feel that none of the favourites has really taken off yet. I thought MVG was workmanlike. Gary Anderson surprised, really, I must say, that we cut him from 5s to 4s. Maybe we were too big pre-tournament, that's fine. 6 to 1 I thought was a standout for world champion, players champion, Premier League champion as well. But I didn't think, and when you think that his opponent, Steve Beaton, had Steve not for the first time, had he taken his double, that would have been really, really close. When Steve Beaton had more doubles, had more shots at the double than Gary Anderson. But Gary did finish well, 3-ton plus finishes. But the three people who've actually impressed me most are the W factor. It's Wade, White, and
Peter Wright.
And Snakebite 107, but there just seems to be a growing maturity and sort of momentum here in the press room about Peter as well. And I think for the first time, I'm not saying it sort of see cracks, but the first time in a number of years, I just wonder. I mean, I just think you turn up here and Phil will win. It's as simple as that, and everybody else says somebody else will win, and you say you try and put them right because the King. And until the King's made his entrance tonight, it's almost like a cricket match where only one side is battered yet. We don't know what he's going to come out and do. And those, he's 7 to 2. Why has he drifted from 3s out to 100 to Burlington Bertie out to now 7 to 2? What's he done wrong? I mean, it just seems strange. But I'm obviously always been a massive Taylor fan, and until I see him. But it's interesting. Wade, he was outscored by Anderson last night, and I thought that showed real fight, real tenacity. He didn't think he played particularly well, averaged 103. I thought that was significant. Ian White, I was quite taken with that. His scoring was sensational. And Stephen Bunting cut a very forlorn figure here at 9-180s, and I think he thought he played well enough to win. And it's those guys who've impressed me most. But it is still 7 to 4. Michael 2 to 1, 15 to 8, now 7 to 4. I think people are saying that Michael's almost got this bye. I think that's unfair to the final. I don't think he has at all. I think things will get tough for him. Maybe in the 8s rather than in the 16s. But he's that. Gary is 4 to 1, having been 6s. Phil now 7 to 2, and AD has been well back. Again, maybe people, the forgotten man. Often if you think of the 4-seeded players, you think of the big 3. Now, you obviously, maybe this time last year, you thought of the big 2 with Van Gerwen and Taylor, but Anderson has certainly joined that elite circle. But Adrian Lewis will certainly, I think, be banging. And he was, I think, trying not to be cocky, but I think he feels that he's playing very, very well. And I spoke to Keith, and I know that in practice he hit two 9-darters in about a 20-minute spell. Now, that's almost like putting for dough, etc. Driving, but I don't know. I just wonder whether, until Phil's played, but it's been a tremendous tournament. We nearly had 9-darters. We haven't had a real, we haven't had a 170 checkout yet. I'm sure that will come, but it's after 6 losing favourites. I think it's probably about 1-1 between punters as well. That none of the big guns have gone out yet. If you've had your bet pre-event, you're probably still in with a shout.
Well, let's have a look at tonight's games. We'll start with Phil Taylor. I think that's probably the best place to start against John Henderson. No upset coming tonight, is there?
Well, you wouldn't think so. No. Phil is the king on that stage, and there's he played almost as well as ever. I believe in Japan. I didn't see it, but beaten. It is, I think, significant that he beat Peter Wright in that 8-7, and by all accounts, it was a very, very high quality event. And again, you just get the impression, going back to Wright, that he's not intimidated anymore by anybody. No way. And he can look at the likes of Phil and Michael, which and he's always had. He's not always seen eye to eye with Michael as well. But no, until Phil, you wouldn't be very, very surprised if Phil got beaten. He may want to make his mark on this tournament as well. It wouldn't surprise me if there was maybe quite a big average as well for the power.
Well, when he's seen the likes, as you say, of Anderson and MVG, not their best, but go through fairly comfortably, you think he might want to come out and say, I'm still here, boys, don't worry about me.
Well, it's almost because he's got to to the Monday, and we've had, you know, 3/4, 75%, and Phil's the penultimate match on, that it's almost as if, you know, all the talk's been about everybody else, and Phil spoke to him yesterday, practicing well, living up in his holiday home, only about 6 miles away. I think you just got the impression he felt, hang on a minute, guys, you correct me if I'm wrong, but I've won it, you know, running at 15 times, and nobody's beat me. Oh right, and also fine, okay. And 7-2. Oh right, oh fine, okay. You know, it was as if something didn't, you know, take time wait for nobody. And he's going to get beaten eventually on that stage.
That's it.
It might not be in 2015 now.
Well, we'll see about that. We'll have to see whether the power, as you say tonight. Let's start with the first game though. Now let's move on to the first game now. Keegan Brown, a lot of bit in talk about him. People tipping him up as to do big things in the game, shall we say? And there's a chance for an upset tonight against Robert Thornton, who has a terrible record here in Blackpool. Yeah,
I mean that's it. 8-13, 5-4 it is. I mean it's this is a really good game. You know, this is one of the ties of the round. Keegan Brown, you know, world junior champion against Roberts, and Roberts, of course, I think it's well documented, has never won a game here. He again, if Phil's going to get beat, Robert's going to win a game. And Robert, you know, I think won the last Pro Tour event as well. But I think he's come into Blackpool in good form previously. But a fascinating, absolutely fascinating event. This, I mean, I know good pundits, some people absolutely adamant that this is, you know, Thornton will win. Others think, no, this guy is the future. This guy is the future of darts. This guy's a future world champion. I think one of the ties of the round. Really looking forward to this.
Betting point of view though on that one, maybe worth swerving because it is going to be a hard one to call.
I mean, we could have this conversation straight after the game. I said, oh yeah. I knew that. Yeah. But you said something different. Yeah, but from a betting proposition, no, not for me. But I mean, other people will obviously get it right. I would not be dogmatic enough to have a bet in that, not at all. I think one to really savour them.
Dave Chisnell versus Jay McCaven is our next match to have a look at. And another one here I'm looking at thinking, like the Wade Anderson match last night, thinking this could be pretty tight.
I think so as well, and I think off air this is my bet. I mean, I haven't exactly covered myself in glory so far, but Caven scores heavily for me. I always think, you know, you'll get Jamie Caven will put on a show then. I think Caven plus 3.5 legs. I think that constitutes, you know, a bet. I think Chizzy, we know it's Chizzy scoring sensational, but he can be flaky on the doubles, and and Jamie can as well. But I like Caven. I think he's a good player. I think this will be again is another terrific game, but that would be I think I'm not saying he'll beat Chizzy. I think it might be, but I think it's closer than the odds suggest.
Well, I completely agree with Troy, and that's also my bet of the day. I think Jamie McCaven plus 3.5 legs is a great way to play tonight and a good way to sit back and enjoy that match. One more to go, Mr. McCann. Barney's in town tonight. He'll get the job done.
Yeah, I think he will, and he'll set up that wonderful clash again with Phil potentially on Wednesday night, which, you know, people my age, you sort of look forward to all those greats, and you know, Phil's been the king here, but you know, the Premier League, and I actually saw, and again it might be an optical illusion, but I saw Barney yesterday, and I thought he looked lean and mean, and I really did think on my eyes was, I thought he looked as if he'd shed some weight, and he really did look well. Now that doesn't mean to say that of course he's going to be play better darts, but I'd be surprised if you know, this you can imagine this 4 or 5 years ago when Andy was playing at the top of his game. This isn't the first round game.
No.
But this is not the Andy Hamilton, I don't think, or, you know, for all we know, he may have been practicing, you know, out of his skin as well. You know, I think a lot of people, you know, because this is such a big event, but Andy hasn't really done so well, so you would think Barney, but to me this wouldn't be a bet as well. I think if Raymond gets in front though, Jesus, he's a very, very good front runner. He really is a good front runner.
Charlie, thank you as always for joining us here on Tungsten Tales. We agree, Mr. McCann and I. We think Jamie Caven plus 3.5 legs is a great bet. It won't send you to the Bahamas on the price, but it might earn you some money for the rest of the match play. Thank you always for joining us at Tungsten Tales. We'll see you again soon.